Robert, he's only trying to help.
Why won't he answer me?
Because I didn't see anybody. I just heard someone.
You heard a voice?
No, just footsteps.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Let's back up a little bit, all right?
Where to?
The beginning. I want it all. Don't leave anything out.
I was on the docks on my way home from work.
What do you do?
I'm a projectionist at the Orpheum Theater. I put the last reel on and I left early. The manager closes up for me 2 nights a week.
What was the picture?
Oh, who gives a damn?
Well, I was just curious.
It's called Starry Night, about some crazy painter who cut his ear off or something.
Let's get back to the point, will we now? You're on your way home from work, right?
All right. And usually I don't see anybody on that particular route, especially on a night like that night. It was foggy and cold. You know how it was.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, well, where did you first see Laura?
Well, in the phone booth, like I told Mr. Kelly.
Look, forget Kelly. You're talking to me.
All right. I saw her in the phone booth, and she looked a little shaken.
Shaken? What do you mean, shaken?
Upset. Lost, kind of. She said she was trying to reach her husband or her parents because the phones on her boat were out of order. I guess she lived on a boat around here.
You guessed right. Now, what else?
Well, only that if she didn't reach anybody, she'd go over to Kelly's.
That's it?
Yeah. Oh, no, she did say that if that she was all right, that she'd be okay. Otherwise, I would have walked her over to Kelly's.
Then she didn't seem scared or anything, like maybe somebody was following her?
No, she just seemed a little anxious. But on a foggy night like that, everyone's jumpy.
So what happened next?
I started off.
But something made you stop.
Right. It was, you know, a feeling I had. Something made me look back. And I saw Laura leave the phone booth, and I guess she went over to Kelly's.
You guess?
Well, yeah, it was so foggy I couldn't see. That's when I heard the footsteps.
Laura's?
No, they weren't hers.
How could you tell?
They were heavier, like a man's footsteps. I'm almost sure of it.
Did you see anyone?
No, it was too foggy. But it sounded to me like the man was going after Laura.
You got good hearing.
You need it if you're a movie projectionist.
Did the man's footsteps catch up to Laura?
No, didn't sound like it. But I did hear them both stop once at the same time, like he might have been following her, but keeping his distance.
No screams, no yells?
No, nothing like that.
Well, didn't you wonder what was going on?
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I did. I even decided to follow her to see if she might need some help. But by the time I got to the place I heard the footsteps, no one was in sight.
So apparently your sense of direction isn't as good as your sense of hearing.
I guess not.
What time did all of this take place?
Oh, the last reel went on at 11, so it was a little bit after that. 11:15, maybe.
That's about the right time.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for roughing you up.
That's all right. I only wish I could have been of more help to you.
Yeah, so do I.
Now, can I go now? We got a matinee today.
Go.
See you, Mr. Scorpio. Ma'am?
You know, man's footsteps, that's not very much to go on, Robert.
But it's something. It wasn't 2, 3, 4, or 5 sets of footsteps, just one. Which means whoever was after her was on his own.
Does that really make a difference?
Yeah, makes a big difference.
It's got too many enemies. It could be anybody.
Don't forget, half those enemies are now mine, too, and we have to check out every possibility.
Starting where? Oh, your friend Kirk. Yeah.
Already checked him. He was in New York at the time of the disappearance, and he has check stubs to prove it.
Then you did talk to him.
Some world security friends of mine delivered him.
Well, did you find out why Helena Cassadine sent him to Port Charles?
Mm-hmm. To retrieve an heirloom left in the hold. Helena backed up the story herself.
Helena Cassadine? You actually talked to her?
Dan Rooney did.
Well, couldn't they have just gotten their stories fixed before?
Possibly, but the point is that Kurt was in New York at the time of Laura's disappearance, and that's all that matters.
Well, scratch Kurt, then.
And the mouse.
Which leaves Scotty Baldwin, who has already got an alibi, according to Luke.
Is that it? I mean, I could have sworn we had more enemies than that.
Well, there was the Frank Smith mob, remember, that Luke's always talking about.
Not likely, love. They wouldn't have taken this long to move against him. Wait just a minute.
What?
This morning when I was waiting for Kurt, something kept going over in my mind.
What? Tell me.
Well, this thing kept surfacing. You remember that Laura mentioned, spoke about this character that scared her so much?
Oh, the guy with the sapphire ring, of course.
Right, and like a bunch of idiots, nobody believed her. I mean, Luke thought she was paranoid.
You know, but a sapphire ring is not very much to go on. Did she say anything else to you about him?
Just that he was tall and had piercing eyes.
Think we can find him?
Realistically speaking, it won't be easy.
But it is possible.
Anything's possible.
Then we have to try, Robert. Okay. He's tall, piercing eyes, and a sapphire ring. Well, he's out there someplace. All we have to do is find him.
Headline. The last thing my weak heart needs. The press will murder us.
All right, calm down, Mickey. Calm down.
My hottest client in 10 years, and you tell me to calm down? Tell me it's a joke, it's a put-on, it's a mistake. Tell me, will you?
What's this guy doing here?
Well, I thought New York might have some information, so I called Mickey.
That's right, and I caught the first plane up here.
And you can get the next plane out of here, because we don't need your help. And the last person Luke needs to see is anybody connected with the Star Eyes campaign.
Hey, buddy, you're not getting rid of me that easy. I've got an investment to protect here. I just hope if the sponsor hears about it, he thinks it's a publicity stunt.
It isn't a publicity stunt, is it?
Not one I arranged.
Then who else could have arranged it?
No one without my approval.
Yeah, he's right, darling. And besides, I think Laura would have told us if she'd been involved in something like that, don't you?
Has anybody in New York heard from her? Well, has anything out of the ordinary happened?
Nothing. Oh, wait. Just one thing.
Yeah, come on, I'm waiting.
I called Mel, the still photographer she worked with on her last day in New York. It seems that he disappeared, too.
Well, what do you mean, disappeared?
Well, his phone's been disconnected, and his studio's locked up.
Well, maybe he's out of town.
Sure, he could be on vacation or something. I mean, he's a freelancer, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what got me thinking.
About what?
Well, I don't know how to put this delicately, but I know Mel. See, I know him very well. He's a smooth character, and he's not bad looking either.
Oh, that's an understatement, darling. The man is gorgeous.
Hey, what's the point here?
I don't know how to tell you this, but sometimes a rapport builds between a model and her photographer.
A rapport?
You know, both working in such close proximity. Attachments are bound to form. One thing leads to the next, and before you know it, they disappear together for a few days on a boat. They get up.
Hey, wait, relax now. Just settle down. We all want to find Laura, don't we? Each of us has a vested interest in her.
In my case, 10% of a hot property.
You keep your mouth shut, or so help me, I'll do it for you.
Hey, friend. I was only making a joke.
I'm in no mood for jokes. She's been gone for 2 days now.
It's almost 3, darling. It's getting very dark outside. Come on, Robert. The man has a big mouth. I mean, all agents do. Now, just forget it.
I won't have you referring to Laura as if she's a piece of meat.
I wasn't trying to be crude.
You weren't trying to be what?
I said I wasn't trying to be crude. These are just the facts of life.
Your life, perhaps, sport, but not ours. We hauled ourselves out of the gutter a long time ago.
Listen, you're upset. I can understand that.
Oh, can you? Can you really? You barnstorm in here making all kinds of insinuations that Laura's run off with some sleazeball photographer. Who the hell gives you that right?
I merely mentioned the possibility, that's all.
Well, you're as wrong as you can possibly be. And if you understood a portion of this 10% you claim to own of her, you'd understand that.
Mickey, darling, you've obviously just made a mistake on this. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that Laura and the photographer disappeared on the same day, I'm sure.
I suppose you're right. I'm sorry. Sorry to upset you, Mr. Scorpio.